USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Learn more and get a quote at usaa.com/bundle. Restrictions apply.
Vitamin Water Zero Sugar has great taste, zero BS, and obviously zero sugar. For those with zero room in their calendar, zero patience for slow walkers, those who get 0 hours of sleep on a Saturday night, have zero filter, zero given, and zero interest in grabbing a plain, boring water. Grab a delicious Vitamin Water Zero Sugar today.
Hey, it's Paris. You know I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and AutoCamp, I just slept under them. Picture me, serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
Are your business expenses playing hide and seek? With Uber for Business, the small spends that slip through the cracks, like rides and meals, go right where you need them. Because it integrates with leading expense platforms, you can say goodbye to surprise costs, missing dollars, or chasing receipts. Everything's track downable. Uber for Business. Make small steps that make a big impact. Learn more at uber.com/small steps.
Hey everybody, happy 10-year birthday to Horror Movie Night. Kyle, I'm sure the time flew for you as much as it did for the rest
it
of
actually
us.
feels more like 20 to me, but
That's true.
Whatever.
You've been grinding harder than us combined. But to celebrate 10 years, as always, we are putting out a best of year 10 compilation. This is covering clips from episode 451 up to episode 500. I don't want to spoil too much here, but there are a couple big moments that I think are really, really funny. We've definitely got one of the longer clips is Kyle having us try to guess what our most picked letterbox double feature is. Obviously, I couldn't not put in Kyle and Bacon's dramatic reading of a scene from Troll 2. But I'll let the rest of it be a surprise to you guys, because I think that there's some ones that I forgot about till I was doing the re-listen. And I hope for the same for all you and the listeners. But guys, I think we have two things we need to talk about, right? We've got a pseudo announcement, potentially a premature announcement for all we know. Who knows? And then, we can just chat a little bit about the year that we've had. And I think we should make them wait a little bit more for the pseudo announcement. So what were your guys' feelings on the year of Horror Movie Night that we just had?
Well, I had a blast. I don't know about you, Kyle.
Yeah. No, I it's going back through and seeing what we have talked about. Some of these feel like a year ago. And then some of them, it's because we also, we're splitting kind of an approach to this year, right? Or this 10th year of ours, because we have a traditional Horror Movie Night first half, and then we have this second half, which has all been anniversaries, which has been a really interesting approach, which has made us touch upon classics that either we didn't think that we were going to do, or we just, pulled the trigger on because it just made sense. And then I also was just going closer to the beginning of the year, which is still September, but it's like, this was also maybe the best listener submitted month that I've been a part of. Like, I don't think there was one listener submitted thing that I didn't dig on.
Yeah, because we had Forbidden World, Blue Monkey, Night Angel, and Ghost Watch.
That is,
And
I can tell you unequivocally, that is the best lineup that we've ever had.
you know,
They're
like
all
I think
bangers.
that was awesome. That was just all bangers there, you know. And there were very few movies that we discussed that I didn't at least enjoy discussing. You know, whether the movie was good or bad or whatever. I just feel like there was so much that we got to talk about this year that I really enjoyed.
We also had, I mean, we still aren't a guest heavy podcast, but we had a fair amount of guests in that chunk of 50 episodes.
Yeah, cool ones.
We had Jordan Morris. We had your buddy Peter coming on to talk about The Craft. We had Cody came and joined us to promote the movie he was working on. And then, of course, we had Robert Bacon on for Troll 2. Like, that's not much in the grand scheme of having guests on, but that's a lot for us. And those are all, I would say, heavy hitters. Also, kind of forgotten one, but you'll hear a little bit of it. This was also the year that when we were doing The Nest, Brian just showed up having not watched the movie.
God, that was so good.
That's true.
And a great episode to boot. So
that was perfect.
He was literally watching the movie in real time, trying to catch up to where we were discussing. It was very charming and very funny. But yeah, so I think we've had a good time. There's not really, like, I'm looking through it and I'm like, this happens every once in a while where I'm just like looking at the box art and going, man, I could rewatch that. Man, I could rewatch that. And like, there's a lot of, man, I could rewatch that I see. Like, I just mentioned The Nest. Like, I could give The Nest another
was
rewatch.
Top tier.
Like, even like Reptilicus, Devilfish. Like,
Devilfish is on my list too.
There's just a lot of fun
Urban
ones.
Legends Final Cut. Like, I had
that was
much fun.
That was a
Cut.
good suggestion.
So fun.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I'm rewatching Mangler. All right.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Mangler's so
Mangler's
good.
great.
You know, guys, call me crazy. I might rewatch Alligator. I would
never believe that from you.
Yeah.
We need, you know, what's the saddest thing about this last year was that Kyle missed the church. That was when we had Jordan Morris on.
Because that is such a Kyle movie too.
It is so fucking weird, and you would love it.
I love the church. I remember I was living in Pasadena. Yeah, so I was living in Pasadena, and I was trying to write a demonic church script, basically. You know, it was very early on in anything that I was trying to explore, and there still is a great video rental store called Videotech, and they have an amazing. They're just incredible.
Is that where you took me?
Yes. Yeah.
It's
no longer in South. It's no longer in South. But yeah, we hooked up in the bathroom.
We did. We had a date. It was great. He took me. He took me to a video. This was Kyle and I hanging out for the first time. He took me to a video rental store in Pasadena. Then he showed me all of the filming locations for Halloween, and then we sat in a bar and talked for like 2 hours while I like nursed a glass of water.
Yeah, it was great. I didn't know Matt didn't drink until we got to that bar, and then I was like, "Well, I'm going to have a beer, and you're going to have this water, and we're going to talk about horror." And it was great. It was awesome. There was like honestly, Matt, there was no reason that there could have been 99 out of 100 times that probably wouldn't have happened. Like, you know, we just wouldn't pull the trigger. Like, our schedules wouldn't lined up. There's no reason for us to have done that.
Well, and shout out to you, though. Shout out to you, because I had no transportation. And I was staying in Hollywood, and he drove from Pasadena to Hollywood to pick me up, then drove me back to Pasadena, and then had to drive me back to Hollywood, and then obviously had to drive back home to Pasadena, which like, I think I probably drove like 3 straight hours that night back and forth easily. Like, for a guy that you had not met in person at all.
It was fate. It was fate, my friend. It was meant to happen that way. I've learned, I was just tired of people telling me that Pasadena was too far away from anything, and I was like, "Well, this guy's here. Yeah, we're gonna make it happen."
And that was long-haired, crazy beard, Amish-looking motherfucker Kyle back then.
Yeah. I've seen pictures of that guy.
Yeah, that guy's dead. His hairline's dead. That's all. So I had to cut that thing before I got to skull it.
But we had, listen, I think we had like beyond episodes that we talked about, right? Like, I think that we had this was probably my favorite year of doing a live panel at Creature Feature. I think that this was our best live panel that we did as far as like the game show. I think it was very funny when we did that. People are going to hear that this week as well. I'm going to release that on the main feed. Kyle absolutely fucking crushed it when it came to doing 2 panels. Like,
oh, thank you. It was crazy. I mean, it's Matt. You had warned me that it's chaos, and I think oftentimes Scott and I are just like, well, yeah, you handle it because you know how to handle it and you've been handling it, and to step into those shoes for a moment was daunting, to say the least. I think Scott saw me when I came back to the table like haggard at like 4:00 on that Saturday, having missed literally everything.
But that's the thing. You think like, all right, it's just 2 hours of panels total that I'm doing, but it's like. It's like prime real estate time of the convention that you just miss everything. And you come back and you're like, oh, cool. So we're closing the table in an hour and a half.
Yeah, right. I'm going to go watch.
This is why Matt does it.
Play again.
Loves it.
Yeah. No, listen, truly that my most comfortable spot is at the table talking to people. Like, that is the one thing I don't like about doing the panels is I love talking to anybody. I mean, this is like, the curse of my life is that I'll never say no to a conversation. So like I'll do podcasts, I'll do whatever because I just like talking to people and I love talking to you guys. We talked about a lot of great movies, not just over this year, but over the last 10 years. Over 500 episodes, we talked about a lot of movies, good, bad, and mediocre. And we're going to try. We're putting this out there so you can hold us accountable for this. But I think we are going to try to kickstart a book reviewing our 10 most
100.
Our 100. Sorry, discussing the 100 films out of the 500 that we think are the best ones that no one's really talking about. Right? You're not going to see any of like the Halloween or Nightmare on Elm Street sequels in this. But you are going to find like the aforementioned The Nest, right? You're going to find those movies that are kind of buried in the sands of time that only kind of get dug out thanks to people like Vinegar Syndrome and Scream Factory. And each one of us is going to write about 33 essays. And hopefully we're going to get some artists to do some cool drawings of recreations of scenes from the movies because we have to pay for every photo that we would put that's a screenshot from the movie, and we're going to try to kickstart it, hopefully make it a fair deal where it's basically just like whatever you're paying for the Kickstarter is about what it would cost to buy a book. And you just think it'd be a cool thing to have to sell at conventions. So hopefully we can get that going in 2026 for all of y'all. And
my grandmother's been in the hospital. She's fine, but she was in the hospital for a little while. And this is where I started because there was just like nothing for either of us to do. Yeah. God bless her. And she was like, "Okay, I'm sorry you're here, but you're here." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm here. It's fine." But I started like organizing my little like essays about for the book. So I would say it's happening.
Oh, it's gonna happen. I just don't know the timeline in which it's gonna happen, but it's gonna happen. But in the meantime, you know what you can get right the fuck now? This best of episode. So let's cut to a quick commercial break. And when we come back, enjoy the best of year 10 of Horror Movie Night.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Have you ever spotted McDonald's hot, crispy fries right as they're being scooped into the carton? And time just stands still. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Hey, business owners, we know you know the importance of maximizing every dollar. With the Delta SkyMiles Reserve Business American Express card, you can make your expenses work just as hard as you. From afternoon coffee runs to stocking office supplies and even team dinners, you can earn miles on all your business expenses. Plus, you can earn 110,000 bonus miles for a limited time through July 16th. The Delta SkyMiles Reserve Business Card. If you travel, you know. Minimum spending requirements and terms apply. Offer ends 7/16/25.
My cat Freddie loves to be brushed and cuddled. But stirring up his cat allergens meant sneezing and itchy eyes. Then I found Purina One Live Clear. It's cat food that reduced the major allergen and my suffering in as little as 21 days. Now, we feel closer than ever. If you have issues with cat allergens, you really need to try Purina One Live Clear.
Try new Purina One Live Clear today. Purina One, a difference from day one.
You've been lost in the woods for hours now, stumbling around in the dark. You come around the bend and see two people roasting marshmallows over a roaring fire. They see you coming into the clearing and gesture over to pull up a log. Welcome to Campfire Ashes. I'm Paul.
And I'm Jess. Join us as we tell each other our originally written spooky stories around the campfire and then dive into the lore and legends that inspired them. Is it something that goes bump in the night? Is it something menacing lurking past the tree line? Or is it just weird and otherworldly? You'll find it here on Campfire Ashes.
You can find us on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, or right here on the Geekscape Network.
But the
and
other
then he can
thing
just
is,
rely on the whipped cream line that we were talking about with the strawberry shortcake. There's,
exactly.
he can just allude to that.
Yeah, like
don't be pervert.
Yeah, exactly. So the other thing is that there's a game that I guess he's like a space mechanic. He's playing.
He's a space mechanic.
He's a space mechanic. It's not the guard. It's the guy who's like, I know that it's supposed to be him playing space clarinet, but it's really a question of is it space clarinet or space bong? Because it could literally be one or the other.
It could be one or the other.
Again,
it could be both.
Why not
we are
both?
In the future.
I mean,
can you imagine?
Sound off in the comments. Has anybody smoked out of a woodwind instrument? Has anybody figured out a way to do this?
I feel like someone has had to.
I don't know
Somebody
if our
had
listenership is the correct group to ask. Maybe I can ask my bandmates because I feel like those guys would know.
Yeah.
Carly's flute is kicking around here somewhere. I will report back.
I feel like so.
Also, a flute's not a woodwind.
Yeah, that is brass.
Fuck.
I feel like a clarinet.
They don't belong in ska, nonetheless.
Although there's that hardcore band where the guy who's like super fucking jacked plays flute. You ever heard of that band? I don't even remember their name.
Jethro Tull.
No, they're
young
guys.
Scott was going to get mad.
Jethro Tull was not.
It's almost hilarious how this is done because they are on a vacation in a secluded area of the Alps, and she goes out for a walk.
Very Sound of Music.
And then he sees the news report reporting that the autopsy showed that it wasn't his corpse, it was just a dummy that was inside the theater. And it cuts to that shot, the flashback of him just yeeting this like dummy into the fire. But then he just goes he leans over the railing and just goes, "He's still alive, run!" And it's just her running through the woods, and then he's just there booking it after.
He's there. He's ready.
Yeah, it's very much
so crazy. It goes to like 1,000 out of nowhere.
It's Monty Python Holy Grail with the guy with the sword running.
It really is. Because and the reason that I think it's so dumb and ridiculous
Ruined my double feature
is that, like you said, this is like one of the smartest, well thought out Argento films out there. I think it's really like every shot, every like point of dialogue, every kill is like meticulously thought out. And then this just feels like he turned in the movie and someone was like, "We need another ending, kid." And he just was like, "All right, fine." And then just tack this on in the last like day of shooting or something.
And
it's
I mean,
so
it
outrageous.
It
has
nothing. Sequel energy, and it's really awful that it has sequel energy. Like, I don't want. I mean, I know that The Mother of Tears is sort of a trilogy, right? But I don't want a sequel to anything Argento's done. I don't want, you know what I mean? Like, nobody's asked for that. It is a very bonkers ending that I had to take a second to wrap my head around. It took me 2 viewings to finish it, and so I had the last 45 minutes, right?
Yeah.
And man, I did not. And I've seen this before. I've watched this one at least once.
Do you guys want to know
before.
something? I have never finished this movie. Until today.
You haven't? Yeah. I wonder. It makes me wonder if I actually had. You know what I mean? It was so delirious of an ending that it makes me wonder if I've ever seen the whole thing all the way through.
So okay,
I really didn't know who the killer was the whole time.
Here's the whole I'm going to read the paragraph from Wikipedia, and I want you to think, since Scott already put it out into the ether, let's just think about Monty Python, the Holy Grail. It says, Betty and Marco leave Rome, arriving in Marco's house in the Swiss Alps. However, when Marco hears a television broadcast that the man thought to have been burned alive was not Santini, but a clothed mannequin, he yells for Betty to flee. Betty runs into the nearby woods as Santini is in pursuit. Marco tackles him, only to be stabbed to death. Betty distracts Santini long enough to bash him on the head with a rock, after which the police arrive to take him away. Betty wanders through the wood, through the empty meadow, finds a lizard trapped in the grass, and frees it, telling it to go free. Even the cops just showing up out of nowhere. It's not even like a cop shows up. It is like...
It's 20 guys.
It's like
they
20
all saw the
and they
same
all want to shoot
news.
this motherfucker.
Yeah. They all saw the same bit of news, and they're like, "Wait, she's in the Alps!" And, like, ran.
How
it is
the likelihood of 20 cops in the Alps at once is nuts.
It was a retreat. It was a work retreat. They really lucked out.
Oh
yeah,
man! Now I got a great double feature. Thank you.
But yes,
I was going to go with Sound of Music, but I got something better now.
The ending.
Good. I didn't mean to spoil it.
The thing about the ending though is Matt hasn't even gotten there yet.
No, I mean that's the end of the Wikipedia
No, the ending
article.
is her saying that she tells the cops, she lies to the cops and says she doesn't remember that the killer was the teenage lover of her mother who cucked him and made him kill young women for her pleasure, but would never let him touch her. He thinks that and then he killed her mom, and then he thinks that she is the reincarnation of her mother, and that's why he's been killing everybody around her so that they can then finally be together. She says, okay, let's get out of here, and then she smacks his head with a rock, and then she lies to the police and says that she doesn't remember, that the guy's crazy, she doesn't, that none of the memories that she regained exist, and then she walks off and is hugging these wildflowers on the ground in the Swiss Alps, and then she says she wants to be like a butterfly in this voiceover, and she finds a trapped lizard who's trapped under what I originally thought was a piece of twine. It's just a piece of it's just a pine branch. She lets him go, and then she's like, "You're free." There has to be so much symbolism there that I don't get. And it has to be Shakespearean. And I am not a Shakespearean guy, so I don't fucking know.
That's the most Italian thing that I've heard is the whole origin story of how we got to this. Like, that's the most Italian part of the whole movie. Is that like this lover is a reincarnation?
What if the lizard was like shedding its skin and she lets shed its skin and then it gets away?
We'd have another 15 minutes.
So
maybe I bet you there was another 15 minutes of that.
Release the Argento cut.
If I'm gonna like be a fake therapist here on it,
do it.
I mean,
Armchair,
she lies.
Baby.
Yeah, like I would say that she lies to the cops because she doesn't want to relive that past by discussing it again, because it's not going to be as simple as telling them what happened and then they just say, okay, on with your life. Like, she'll be sat down and talked about and interviewed and this, that, and other thing, so it's easier to lie. And then the go free, she's talking to Lizard, but she's also talking about herself. Like,
that's
everything
obvious.
in that past is gone.
But Shakespearean, Matt. Like, I will not accept this.
Well, I don't have time to look that up. But
I don't want to come off as someone who's saying that, like, bugs shouldn't be smushed in a movie. Like, that's, like, I'm never going to watch Cannibal Holocaust, right? But, I'm never
There's
going
a bridge there. Yeah.
Yes, like bugs. I think that it's pointless to smush bugs in movies because you could just have some fake goo. It's not really going to add anything to the movie. Also, like, a lot of cockroaches. I'm assuming a lot of these roaches that were in this movie are feeder roaches, except for the hissing cockroaches.
And you can tell because they're always yelling acting at the end of their scenes.
Yeah.
You know that they're theater cockroaches because of the bloopers where they keep breaking into soliloquies from Shakespeare plays.
End scene.
Brian, do you remember this? It was when you were still using and you were going to like some drug counselor, and he made you watch a bunch of random movies, and it was like he made you watch Requiem for a Dream.
Mm-hmm.
But there was some random movie that had nothing to do with drugs, and I remember your joke was always that he was like, I think he just found out that I had a Scarface poster and a Boondock Saints poster, and he was trying to educate me on real film because it was like
my god, it was like 21. I think that's what it was. It was 21.
It was 21.
It was 21. It was the gambling movie.
That addiction counselor, bless them, has a repertoire of films and was just like, okay, here's another one that I like.
It was
do you want to like hang out? Or like,
do you want to watch it together?
No, so I was a Boondock Saints fan, right? When I was 15, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's what 15-year-old boys did.
I failed video journalism because of this teacher that was, without a doubt, like the most racist person ever. The way he like got
away. What does that have to do with
like,
Boondock Saints, though?
So me and you picked a partner, and that was your partner for the year, and my partner was like Khalil, and he would make these comments like, "You're not black. Stop pretending that you're black." Like he would say that to him, but he was the most arrogant person. So he failed me because we had to do a report on like films that were important to like cinema or like change cinema or something like that, like something about cult classics or something along those lines. And he essentially said that it wasn't a film, and it had no relevance towards the film industry or whatever. So he failed me.
And Brian, if people are having a mental health issue in the greater Eastern Pennsylvania area, do you got any spots that you can promote?
Yeah. So if anyone is ever in like a tough spot and they really need a place to go, you don't even have to call. We have this thing where you don't even have to call, just show up. It is...
That's my address.
Now you better fucking add that. You better edit this. Fucker. I knew I was like, if he's giving the address, like, it's not going to be.
Here's the thing that baffles me in that whole sequence, right? He comes in, he chokes the woman to death, and then it appears like he's trying to not make it look like she was murdered. And his way of doing that is putting her in the already filled bathtub and then
Which is filled with green water. Did you catch that?
Yeah, I caught that the watercolor was weird. But then he like throws the hairdryer in it and electrocutes her. And I found myself thinking, like, wouldn't you make it seem more like an accident if she just, I don't know, you pushed her underwater and it feels like she fell asleep and slipped or something?
Well, the weirder thing is that he strangles her to death. He dumps her in the bathtub. He plugs in the hairdryer, drops it in to electrocute her, though. The fact of the matter is there are still going to be ligature marks on her neck. Anyway, he then unplugs the hairdryer so that he can steal her panties.
Well, because why would she be getting into the bathtub with her panties on? That would be outrageous.
Oh, I thought he was just a fucking pervert.
No,
too.
No, he was trying to make it, that's what I mean. He was trying to make it feel like a believable accidental death or suicide.
We've watched too many of these things where that's not the choice. That's not the choose your own adventure choice that happens. That's smart. That's smart filmmaking.
Because everybody knows that if someone's going to commit suicide in a bathtub with a hairdryer, they have to at least be prepared as if they were taking an actual bath in that moment.
Yes. Right. Or even or even accidental or whatever. Like, oh my god,
the
that's
logical leaps
so
that Matt misses when he is like off topic, and the logical leaps that we miss So different.
So different. They are a different caliber.
I mean, this is what Smirnoff Ice was. It's like in a glass. It's 12 ounces. Yeah, 11.2 ounces. That hole they got me.
Yep.
That's
a
almost
favorite of the Evil Alien Conquerors, as Patreon members know. But
oh yeah. Well, so the first half of it, I was like, I have to get a Smirnoff Ice because that's like the gateway drug when you go to college and you didn't drink in high school. I mean, if you drank in high school, it was your gateway drug then. I mean, like at least
it was our natural wine cooler. Like it was not natural. It was the progression of wine coolers too. Then Smirnoff Ice.
Yeah, the natural progression from wine cooler. It was between this and a Mike's Hard Lemonade, and I was like, no, I didn't drink Mike's Hard Lemonades in college. It was Smirnoff Ices. And they were, I mean, I didn't like them, but it was just like people would give them to you and you're like, okay, well, I want to get drunk, so I'm going to drink this. Anyway, that's the first half of it. The second half of it is that I didn't grow up with Bomb Pops. Now,
what happened? Why didn't you grow up with them?
It just wasn't
that seems
part of
wild. It just wasn't in Ohio.
I didn't know. I never ever saw them. Maybe it's because I grew up in the country and there wasn't an ice cream truck.
That's probably why, because I don't think I see them in the stores. Like it's definitely an ice cream truck special.
I actually have a box of them in the basement freezer.
Make it up for lost time.
Yes. But in college, in the cafeteria, you'd get your food and then you'd sit down and you'd eat it, or you'd talk with your friends, and then on your way out you'd grab an ice cream from the ice cream, like one of those slidey things, like one of those little cases with the slidey top. You go to the gas station.
You all know what
I'm
we're
trying to
about
paint
here.
the picture and I'm having a hard time. Anyway, so it was always Bomb Pops for me. And the thing is what you would do is you would fight your way through the red. You would then eat as much of the blue as possible, because like, for the people that don't know what they are, which apparently it's nobody but me when I was 18. It goes red, white, and blue. The red is cherry, the white is lime, the blue is blue raspberry. And the lime is the only part that's really good. So you fight through the cherry.
Bold.
I was going to say, I feel like there's two people who strongly disagree with you.
That's because you ate a bomb
all in on the cherry and the blue raspberry and be like, oh, lime, get the fuck out of my face.
I am flabbergasted. I'm sorry, Scott.
I know I live my life on hard mode most of the time anyway, but like really the way that I eat Bomb Pops is just awful, because you eat the red and you eat the blue, and then you try and keep the yellow or the white on the stick so that you can enjoy it last.
No wonder you bought those toxic waste things.
Bro,
you're
you
just
have painted a Salvador
go.
Dali version of eating a Bomb Pop. It's completely fucking surreal.
Also,
it is insane.
We're going to make fun of a lot of elements about this movie because it's an easy movie to trash. Mm-hmm. Stuff like the boom mic and the bad sound and the bad lighting.
The saxophone, Jess.
Man, it is. This is a romantic film.
This is hot as hell.
I have to say, like, the people being pulled into the sand scenes are more effective than they have any right to be for such a low-budget, trashy movie.
I want to know how they did it.
Yeah.
Because they're literally pulling people 6 feet down on a legitimate beach.
In a single shot. Like, it's not like it's doing cuts or stuff. Yeah.
No, this was formerly known as the beach's butthole, but then they changed the name to Blood Beach, which made it a much sexier movie before that.
They changed the title, they added the saxophone, and away they went.
This is complicated. I actually don't know what drink to
Baby, I got
here.
one. Night Waves by our friend Chris's brewery here in Akron, 83 Brewery.
The Mystic Schooners Summer Shandy. There's less boating here than in maybe another thing that we talk about later on, but but it is more summery. It is it feels more on the beach summer shandy. So this is the Mystic Schooners Summer Shandy.
Did you watch the Blu-ray or did you watch the Tubi version? Because apparently you may have missed a very random song that appears in the movie if you watch the Blu-ray.
I watched the Blu-ray, and there is an incredible song right out the gate called "Hot Butter," which is
then that's because the information I read was that the DVD doesn't feature the song "Popcorn," which is the instrumental that plays at the party. The bop 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 bop,
which is the best part of the movie, in my opinion.
This had that, and this was
wait.
Yeah,
is it popcorn or is it hot butter?
It's a song called Popcorn by an artist named Hot Butter. I'm pretty sure.
Dude, that's insane. Like, that makes the watch worthwhile right there. This is the information I needed.
Wait, was this the first time you heard this song, Scott?
Yeah, Matt. I've never heard buttered or popcorn by Hot Butter. Like, don't ask me questions like I'm the weirdo.
Okay, so a few things about, because this is like we could do it as a one-hit wonder episode. Yeah. It's a late 60s, early 70s song that was covered. It was originally a musical composition called Popcorn that was done to test the style of a Moog synthesizer. Like, that was like what it originated as. And the name comes from the fact that it's the combination of kitschiness with pop music. So they were like, it's corny. It's pop music. We'll call it Popcorn. And then, yes, a band called Hot Butter, a American pop group, covered it in 1972. And it was like a huge hit at the time.
It's a crazy
this blows
song.
My mind.
I was a hit for anybody to listen to that song and then watch that scene. Like that scene with the song is so bizarro.
That scene
it's not
is
like
fun.
a very exciting scene.
Though.
It's just it's a college party, and it's a weird college party that's serving popcorn. Like they felt the need to have a popcorn machine at this college party to emphasize the song, I guess.
And here's why I'm like mentioning this, right? So this is just a factoid. This didn't cross over to the States, but the song Popcorn was a huge hit in Europe. It hit #1 in France, Switzerland, Germany, the Netherlands, and Norway, usually holding #1 for 9 to 10 weeks, and ultimately became the best-selling single of 1972 in Europe.
What?
So, like,
I am aghast.
So the idea, you're a guest, but the bigger question is, how the fuck did the people who made this trashy, low-budget movie even get the okay to put it in their weird scene?
This is a really odd thing, and I dug into the Blu-ray a little bit just to get an idea of what's going on. There's like a locations feature. There's an interview with the producer Ed Allam, who also did Invasion of the Blood Farmers, which
that was the next thing that comes up on Tubi, by the way.
Yeah,
Jimmy, aka Crispin Glover, his dance moves worked. One of these twins wants to hook up with him, and the other one wants to leave. Mostly because, Kyle, I don't blame her, because Ted is doing the thing that ruins most parties, which is, hey, everybody, let's get stoned and watch porn together. And watching porn in a group, never the right call.
Anybody else here watch porn in a group?
Once. It's a mistake you make one time.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yes. No. We watched So I think this was the right move, but it was still troublesome. It was there was a Vinegar Syndrome, of course. Hi, I'm Kyle. There was a Vinegar Syndrome trailer compilation which showed their whole catalog from 2017. One disc was all the sort of like normal narrative stuff, and then one disc was all the pornos. And it's hysterical because there are a lot of pornos with incredible storylines, but at the same time, these trailers are still porn trailers. So, it's very fun and funny for 3 to 4 trailers, maybe 5 if there's a weirdo one in there. But then, at some point in time, you are just watching porn with all your friends.
Yeah, what am I going to do with this erection?
What am I supposed to do?
What are all of us going to do with these erections?
Yeah.
So the
Some
erection
people have
was
an answer for
never,
that. It's not my friend group.
In my circumstance, the erection was never a thing that we had to worry about, because it was actually after the first time I ever went to Monster Mania, my friend bought like horror-themed porn out of curiosity, and we put on like an Italian zombie porn.
Do I know this person?
No, you don't know this person.
Because that is a weird fucking move.
Yeah, we made it maybe 30 minutes, and I was like, I think I'm tapped out on this. This is too much. Because we were like, we need to at least wait for the zombies to show up.
There was no reanimation.
Are you still mad that I brought Burial Ground for all of us to watch? Are you guys still mad about?
Still a little rough.
We have Trevor, right? Trevor? Or is it Toby?
Well, which one?
The twin that's alive. The twin that dies.
Trevor. Travis dies, Trevor lives.
Yeah, Travis.
Don't name
Travis,
your kids TR names when you have twins. That's insane.
When you have twins? Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
Well, no.
Have I ever told you about
That's some
the
Zin Zane
twins
shit
that
if
I
I've
went-
ever heard.
Yeah. Nice callback to last week, Matt. If you had missed our episode on Blood Tracks, go back one episode. But
if you
anyway.
like this movie, you'll love Blood Tracks.
Yeah.
That tracks.
Totally similar concept. Have I ever told you that I went to school with twins named Ricky and Richard?
That's fucked up. That's bad parenting.
That's fucked.
Yeah.
That's fucked.
That's literally just Richard. They couldn't come up with two names.
Sounds like two dicks walking around your school to me. It's immediately after they watch this fucked up footage that they're informed that Travis has taken his own life in the campus tower. Which immediately leads to my favorite trope, which is that his identical twin brother Trevor shows up.
So ridiculous.
Within minutes. Like, it's a real...
this wasn't my first watch of this movie, and I still was confused. I was like, wait, is it him? Is it him, or is it really a twin brother? I forgot for a very long time.
It's a real beer fest kind of switch.
It kind of comes back around. It's one of those things where it comes back around, and I actually questioned it more at the end of the movie if they were the same person as they were when it got introduced to me. I was like,
it's not like he was acting differently either.
No,
It's just
he was the same guy.
Literally, they
We've
could
also
have pulled...
completely ignored the fact that Joey Lawrence is in this.
Yeah, Joey Lawrence is in this. I mean, his character is so barely there.
Dude, he's the one who saves the day.
Joey Lawrence.
Almost.
Joey Lawrence plays Graham, the guy who's who's the he's the one that's connected. He's got a daddy in Hollywood that's gonna get everyone's project made.
Yeah, and he goes, well, he was like, I'll call one call to my dad and we can go digital.
Yeah,
and then they're like,
it's one of those
digital.
things. Joey Lawrence, even though I love tequila body shots, Joey Lawrence his visually never sticks with me. I have no idea.
He's an everyman in the worst
He's a
possible
chameleon.
way?
Yeah. I have no idea.
But
he's like the opposit of who's that actor? Or like a character actor that you never know the name
Who's that
of.
Pokemon?
I don't know.
It's just Joey Lawrence silhouette. But no, back to the beer fest thing. Even when Trevor shows up, they could have used the exact line where he's like, "Hey, him and I talked every day, and I know all of you basically like you're my own friends. So you can just call me. You can call me Travis if you want, if that makes things easier." So he shows up because he's confident that his brother, no matter how depressed he was, would never do something like that. It had to have been murder.
I've been going back through the archives of Horror Movie Night for Letterboxd. And
this sounds like it's promo time. Kyle, tell us about our Letterboxd.
Just a little bit, because I was sick this weekend, so I spent a lot of time trying not to do a ton of overexertion, but I did sit and I finished up loading up everything onto Letterboxd, but not only just our diary, which I think I reported last week, but I also I included on the descriptions of the movies every suggested double feature that us and our guests had given from the time that we started double features. And I'm interested. One, because I was under the impression of the rule that we don't do anthologies. I did not realize it came from what we're talking about here, from a month in which it had happened. But I'm just wondering if you all know what our most suggested double feature is. Now, there's a few that have been suggested 7 times.
What? I'm guessing Behind the Mask is a big one.
It is not.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Behind the Mask has only been suggested 3 times.
I feel like Tammy the T-Rex came up a lot for a year.
Mm-hmm. So Tammy and the T-Rex. Oh my God, I just closed out a Letterboxd. Tammy and the T-Rex has been suggested 7 times. Yeah.
Yes.
So there was one, but here's the thing with Tammy and the T-Rex. There was 1 week, and it was Carnosaur, where we all suggested Tammy and the T-Rex. So I do feel like, and that's the only time we've ever done that. So my other question, the one, so I'll just give you the 7.
Okay.
And then I want you to pick which ones you think you suggested the most.
Okay.
I want you to do that first before I give you the 7. Which ones do you think that you suggested the most?
Oh, man.
And also think of Brian. What has Brian suggested the most?
Oh, fuck. Brian.
I feel like you need to give us the numbers. I think if you give us the titles, it'll be, because there's so many movies.
It's impossible for me to know.
Okay.
So what were our 7?
Here's what I'll do. So I'll give you all of the 7, and I'll tell you if there's one in here that one of you suggested the most.
Okay.
Okay? Phantom of the Paradise.
Oh, yeah.
The Blob.
That's Matt.
Waxwork. Tourist Trap. The Kindred. Tammy and the T-Rex.
Well, Scott's definitely Kindred
and Blob. Matt is definitely Phantom of the Paradise and...
No, Scott, I don't know if you're Blob. I think you're Waxwork.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
So, Scott, you have suggested Waxwork and the Kindred both 6 times. The only other person who's ever
What did I watch this week is? No joke.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, that's crazy. Matt has only suggested Waxwork 1 time, and then Brian has only suggested the Kindred the other 1 time. Now you said the Blob, 88.
Yeah.
That is Matt 5 times. That is Scott twice.
Wow.
For Phantom of the Paradise, which I kind of have deemed the first one that has been suggested the most, Matt 3, Scott 2, Kyle 1, guest host 1, which I don't remember. I didn't write down the guest host name, so apologies. What do you think? So Matt, your most picked is...
It's not Phantom with... so, okay. So
that's shocking.
Yeah.
No, but now I have to go down a second tier to this is what's been picked 6 times, okay? The Frighteners, Popcorn.
Oh, that's Matt.
Texas Chainsaw 2, 6, Serial Insane Clown Killer.
Those are me.
Humanoids from the Deep.
That's me.
Okay. Those are all 6.
So Matt, the first 2 were Matt, the second 3 were me. So
no,
TCM2.
I think Kyle might be Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Not 2, no way.
Never. That's right.
Yeah. Matt is the only person who has picked something in here the most.
Was it Frighteners 6 times?
And it was it was Frighteners. No, it wasn't Frighteners. It was Frighteners 4, and Brian picked them 2 of the times. Your most picked is Popcorn and Serial Insane Clown Killer, both with 5 times. Scott following up with 1 suggestion each on those.
This is insane.
So I will just, because then obviously picked 4 times gets expanded, and I've only done anything that's been picked more than 4
Kyle,
times.
was your most Texas Chainsaw Massacre Next Generation?
I've only suggested that 1 time.
Wow.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That blows my fucking mind right there.
The movie that I suggested most was also Matt, you picked Alligator 5 times, and you're the only one who's ever picked Alligator.
That makes sense.
Brian picked Ed Wood 4 times, and you've only picked it once, Matt.
Yeah.
I picked Brain Scan 4 times. I'm the only person who's ever suggested Brain Scan as a double feature.
Quite obviously, yes.
So those are the stats for the moment.
Can you read the? I'll zoom in. Yeah. Can you read the bold parts?
Yes. Oh my
and
God.
this is this is the famous bench press scene.
Yep.
This is the one part that I had the dialogue written in my notes too, because this is unbelievable.
Okay.
Bacon, did you write this, or did you just grab this from like a copy of the script?
I Googled Troll 2 script, went on the top Google. It didn't even have the names, but I know it so well that I was able to just highlight in bold.
I love this. This
it's
is
real
amazing.
quick. I didn't have a bunch of time to do this. I've been working on Internet Supreme Court. We'll get to that later. But I did make it in Courier New. I made it a proper script. Now, Kyle.
Yes.
I would like you to remember what I said about this being Shakespearean.
Yeah.
So one, you're in your head. I'm a stage actor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a boy.
Yep. Okay.
Deep down, I'm a little confused about my sexuality.
Okay.
I have this girl. She's beautiful. I should love this girl. I should love to be with her. But I do want to hang out with my friends all the time for some reason.
Yeah.
Your boys.
But that's fine, because what I want to do, what society's telling me, what everyone's telling me is I should go hang out with this girl. And then I'm the girl who is really gung-ho about this and really wants to go and is really excited about having her sexual awakening and has a boyfriend that she loves enough to be with. But he's just not committing, and he's so flaky. And why is he always with his friends?
Yeah.
So just to set this up.
Yeah.
All right.
Appreciate that.
So,
Good direction.
Elliot, what kind of idiotic joke is this? You scared the shit out of me.
I'm the victim of a nocturnal rapture. I have to release my lowest instincts with a woman.
Release your instincts in the bathroom.
Are you trying to turn me into a homo?
Ugh. Well, it wouldn't be too hard. If my father discovers you're here, he'll cut off your little nuts and eat them. He can't stand you.
And you?
I like you, but my family doesn't like you. They spend way too much time. They say that you spend way too much time with your friends.
Oh, but I swear, I never see them.
Oh, how long's this gonna take? We're sitting waiting. Why you want to come to Totino's Holler? Maybe some for some pizza, thank you. Oh, you shut the window on us. Do you see?
What's wrong with having friends?
Nothing. If you want to remain a virgin the rest of your life, you take them to bed with you? And I don't believe in group sex.
Is your family going on vacation tomorrow?
Yes.
I'll come with you.
Okay, I'll tell my father you're coming with us tomorrow.
Where are we going?
Neilbog, and this is great. This is really hidden in, some very important information that we need. A wonderful half-empty town. It's an exchange. A family from the country is coming here. We're going to live in their house. Oh, Elliot, it'll be wonderful. You and me in the woods. This time, we'll be able to be together for sure.
And my boys?
If you bring them, I never want to see you again.
Okay. I'm going now, and I'll tell them.
I'll see you tomorrow morning, 8 on the dot.
Okay.
Elliot?
Yeah?
Alone?
Of course.
I'll see you tomorrow morning. Finally. And seen.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.